Homer led the league in tackles with 85. The deep ball for Darius Prince, and Philadelphia's on the board first.
On the draw, this is Bryson Allen. And Allen weaving his way all the way down to the 22.
10-yard line, 5. Mayfield, Dancy, all around. Throw it as far as he can throw it. Jump ball coming. Crazy stuff. Not this time.
And you want to be a wide receiver, you're going to have to take a little bit of a hit like that as Brown got him in that shoulder, but watch. Those are teeth.
Do we have a dentist on staff here?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, back in the building. We have another member of the Georgia Indians here to talk a little bit of AL2 with us tonight. So, Kieron, I'm a big believer in no one can introduce you like yourself. So let the people know a little bit about you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My name is Kieron Ashley. I play for the Georgia Indians. Number 1, play wide receiver, kick returner, also DB as well. Been in the game now for over about 20 years. This truly is my passion. I come from Troy University, down in the Sun Belt from Alabama. Y'all probably a little bit familiar, but I came from Troy University. Also spent some time at University of Miami for my grad year as well. So it's definitely a blessing. It's definitely a blessing to be part of the Indians, man. When I was coming out of school, I was fortunate enough to go overseas to Germany, for about 6 months. I did a season over there. It was a really great experience. When it comes to football, this is really, along with a lot of other guys in the league, this is truly a passion that runs. I always say it runs deeper than the surface. And, being fortunate enough to play for someone like Coach Holmes, who, not only represents that every day, but constantly setting that standard, not just for the guys that he has now, but, also too, man, guys that I see that he's moved on, guys who's played with him, years and years and years ago. It's a different type of structure. It's a different type of structure. It's a different type of camaraderie, being around and being amongst this team, so I'm definitely excited for us to, really come into the AL2 and, make our footprint, and connect with all these other great teams. And, it's so many great players and there's so many great coaches, so I'm really excited for everything, man.
Okay. So did you play for Coach Holmes prior to this season?
Yeah. So this is my second year. This is my second year with the Indians.
Okay.
Yeah, we started last year. We started last year in 2024. First season we did in the GIFL.
Okay.
So yeah, glad we here now. I can tell y'all that.
I dig it, man. I dig it. So you mentioned that you played in Germany. How was that experience versus playing here, in the States? How different was that experience?
Germany was definitely a great experience, and it's, of course it's for different reasons, but a lot of times for you to start experiencing certain things that you never have, sometimes you got to start doing certain stuff that you've never done before. So being able to be out there and really be in a different comfort zone, being uncomfortable, being stretched in different ways as far as, not just an athlete, but also a person. It's a lot of, it's a lot of things that you learn personally, but it's also a lot of things that you learn as an athlete. And I can tell you that the structure overseas is so much different than how we do things here in the States. Not to say it's a big difference, but in terms of the way they approach the game, in terms of the way they approach the players, it's different. They really set a high standard for everything, because they are still trying to, get their name out over here. And, at the end of the day, like US football, whatever level it is, it's the standard, it's the standard over there. So, I really like being over there, man. I respect so much of just how they go about constantly trying to build a culture, a sustainable culture that's not just, 1, 2, 3 years, but actually building a dynasty. But then when you get over there and you see the character behind these players, you see the character behind these guys, it speaks volume. It speaks volume amongst the coaches that you play for, and, just how things are structured around the league. So, I can definitely say that's some stuff that I learned, being over there.
Definitely, man. It seems like that was a really different experience, right? And, sometimes experiences can be different, but still be helpful, because they help you learn some things that maybe you can carry over, into what you're doing. So, yes. Speaking of that, do you feel like that experience and how that structure is different, everything kind of changed maybe the way you look at preparing, coming back to the States, and after being, a part of it, and just some things kind of getting ingrained in you, you just keep doing them?
Yes, sir. I mean, it's you really tap more into approaching the game from a truly professional, business side. Things that you're able to learn from here, but then also learn over there, and being able to correlate those two things together and implement them. It really does show. I can also say too that it's a little bit different as far as, you have a lot of coaches over there who they don't have this. They may not have the same experience as a lot of the coaches here. But when it comes down to knowledge, when it comes down to putting you in the best position for you to be the best player or make the best plays, I've seen these guys firsthand, lose sleep over making sure that whatever player it is, whatever team we're about to face, they're gonna make sure you're in the best position. But you also, like always, you also have to do your part. So coming back over here, man, I've just been hungry. It's a hunger. It's a hunger like no other. And then, when you play for someone like Coach Holmes, it constantly keeps you hungry. You constantly want to get better. You constantly want to be better. It's always different things that you can improve on the field, but then also too, with us, with all of these great teams in this league, being professional outside of the game is truly like just as important as how professional you are inside the game. So I would say that's the biggest thing for me is professionalism on and off the field. Yes, sir.
Okay. Definitely dig that. Now, I know you've talked about Coach Holmes, second year with him. Do you feel that now that you've had the preseason, well, actually not the preseason yet, you're getting into that, but now that you've had the off-season work with the team and kind of building the team together and everything for AAO ball, do you kind of feel like you've learned a lot about expectations, how things are going to go, how everything's going to work with you as a DB and as a wide receiver and a kick returner in the AAO too?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we just finished up a season. We just finished up a season in the GIFL. Prior to this,
Right.
so it was a really good way for us to kind of break the ice. Break the ice from certain things of being comfortable with certain plays that we maybe want to call. Just the team gelling together more and more, meshing, everybody being on the same page, everybody knowing what they have to do. I can definitely say that going into AAL2, I feel like we're more prepared. We're more prepared than we ever have been. Even when I look at Coach Holmes right now, like I can tell that he has a very different mental, about how we're gonna start the season. But it's a good mental, it's a good approach. And he truly, with us being a first year team coming in with all of these other great teams, we really want to make sure that we set a high standard. Again, just going back to professionalism, carrying ourselves, on and off the field in a way that speaks volume, for our team and for our coaches. And when it comes down to the play calling, when it comes down to the things that we have put together to enter the AL2 with the players that we have, I couldn't be more excited, man, because it just really seems like everything came together at the right time. And don't get me wrong, just like all of us, we all still have things that we can work on and we can improve on. But it's a blessing when you can already see that seed that you planted into the ground is growing. You know what I'm saying? It's growing, and you just got to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do to nurture it and take care of it, so it can blossom the right way. And I feel like right now, that's us. That's us. It's still a few things that we need to we need to straighten out with these last few weeks. But once we get down and we get to the start of the season, man, I really feel like it's going to be a lot of great things that y'all are going to be able to see. And I'm really excited for the competition with all the great players on the other team, and just being able to connect with you guys, as coaches, as owners. And yeah, man, I'm ready. I'm ready for this ride.
Sounds good. Well, Keiron, I can tell that you are somebody that's going to be giving some of those speeches to the team throughout the season. So I'm sure that they will be looking forward to hearing those positive words as well. If you would, kind sir, just let the people know where they can find you. And definitely appreciate your time. And ladies and gentlemen, this is another one of your Georgia Indians players.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Y'all can definitely follow us, Georgia Indians Football, on Instagram. I'm the one that's running the page actually too. So y'all definitely make sure you tap into that. Also too, you can follow me at Manifest Health and Fitness. That's what I'm all about. Manifestation and prosperity in all the right aspects. So y'all can definitely follow me on that tip. And yeah, stay tuned and be sure to lock in with us. It's gonna be a blessed season, and good luck to all the other great teams, all the players, all the coaches, all the owners. I truly send love to y'all, and can't wait to line up against y'all.
Love to hear it, man. Love to hear it. And again, appreciate you for hopping on with us.
Thank you, sir. Thank y'all so much for taking the time to let me speak.
No problem.
God bless.
I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer.